Hi guys, my name is Maria and today is going to be a longer video, so I commend you if you stick to the very end. As you might have guessed from the title, I want to talk about struggling with my weight and getting bullied at school. I know this is a bit of a controversial topic, with that liberation being like all the rage right now, and if me losing weight offends anyone in this video, feel free to click away. Now, with all that out of the way, I want to start from the I want to start from the very beginning. I gained a lot of weight when I was 8 years old, and I loved sugar and sweets. So when I used to live with my parents, they would control my sugar consumption, but then they left to live overseas for a year and left me with my grandma. So she was not that great at controlling my weight, and by 8 years old, I was 42 kilos or about 92 pounds, so basically the weight of a really skinny adult woman. After my parents got back, I remember my mom taking me to the doctor and the doctor telling my mother that I was obese. And that's when I was put on my first ever diet with boiled vegetables and all that wonderful crap. To this very day, I hate green beans with a passion. They trigger the hell out of me. I cannot eat them. I find them very disgusting. So I stuck to that diet for about 2 months, and after that, they sent me to a summer camp where they basically had me on a specified diet. For example, all the kids would like get pies and other sweets for dessert, while I just got a glass of milk. That made me feel really singled out and not very good about myself. I did, of course, lose the weight, but because I love to eat, I would gain most of that back and more as I grew up. So because I hit puberty at 11 and I was already kind of overweight, I looked bigger than other girls, and I specifically remember getting made fun of by other girls because of my breasts. So they came up to me and they were like, so Maria, are you sure you're getting enough support for that? And I'm like, wait, what? And they were like, you bra. And I'm like, what the hell? Why do you even want to bring that up? That made me feel really bad about myself, even though I never had big breasts. Like, the biggest size was a C cup, and that's not really big. So anyway, by the time I was 13, I was already 63 kilos, so about 138 pounds. And I'll find some pictures so you can probably visualize how that looked. And I've always had that figure where I have like a waist and a really huge hips, and they always chafe, and it's not fun, and I really hate it, but you know, what can you do? It's the type of body that I have. My heaviest weight came after I experienced a car accident. Basically, what happened was an older gentleman was driving a car, and he had a 3-year-old grandson with him, and he probably thought that I had already finished crossing the road, but I didn't, and he was trying to drive past me, and my leg was in the air, and it got caught into the space between the tire and the car because it was an SUV. It was a big car, and I hit the ground, and they called the ambulance, and I had to get a skin graft surgery, and I was immobile for basically 2 months. I had to use crutches to get around, and I just sat at home and ate because, you know, what else am I going to do? And I put on about 9 kilos of weight. Now, 72 kilos or 158 pounds may not sound like a lot to you, but I was an Australian size 16. I am short. I'm 160 centimeters or about 5'2" or 5'3". I'm a hobbit, basically. And my mom was wearing size 12 to 14. Like, I was bigger than my mother. And when I went back to school, my weight went down a little bit. I lost 4 kilos just by living. And after that, I decided to go on a diet, a calorie deficit, and lost another 10 kilos. But as it usually happens when you don't change your lifestyle, After I lost the weight, I put it all back within the next 2 years, and I stayed that way up until I had to leave Australia. At 17, I lost 5 kilos without really changing anything about the way I ate, but I was at a boarding school where they controlled most of the things that I ate, so I couldn't have like chips and chocolates and like all of that wonderful stuff. I could only get that on the weekend when I went back home. I remember going on this horrible, awful date with a boy I met on the internet, and him being all gropey and disgusting, and like he touched me everywhere without like asking me if it was all right, even though I was clearly uncomfortable, but he gave no craps. And I still asked him if I looked like my pictures because I was very insecure and I wanted validation. And he told me, I actually like skinny girls, you're too big for me. And I'm like, why the hell did you grope me then? What is the logic here? I could not understand. Getting back on topic. Actually, I'll put on some photos of what I looked like at 17 so you could understand why he called me big. Anyway, within the next half a year, I lost another 3 kilos just by going out a lot, not eating properly. Probably not the healthiest thing ever, but I was happy with how I looked, and my weight would go up again after Corona because, well, I think everyone put on a bit of weight during that time when you're shut in your house and you can't go anywhere. So I was 68 kilos once again, and I was already dating my current boyfriend, and I literally had to get him to confess that he didn't like the way that I looked because I was insecure about myself also. And he was like, well, you could probably stand to lose a few. And I'm like, oh, so you think I'm fat? He didn't think that. He just thought that I put on a few, and it was true. He also put on a few. We all went on a diet after that. And the diets that I tried after that were not great. They were the fad diets, like eating carrots for a week straight. Let me tell you, it was bad. I could not look at carrots after that. Never do that. Just a warning. Don't ever do that. As you might expect, after I lost the weight, I put it all on again within the next year, and that's when I tried dieting pills. It wasn't a good decision. I got a lot of headaches. I'd feel ill, like I don't know, everywhere, my stomach, my heart, like everywhere. I got some side effects from it, but the weight did come off really easily. But again, do not do that. That's just crappy. So I was back to being 60 kilos, or 132. And this time I actually maintained it for about 2 years. And now I'm losing weight again because I put on 4 kilos with my boyfriend recently, just eating crappy foods and drinking lots of beer. And I decided that I want to lose weight so I could have a BMI of 21. And for me, that's 53 kilos. And that is where I am now. So, the bullying. Besides the accident with the girls in my primary school, besides the guys telling me that I was too big for them, I also got made fun of a lot back when I was a tiny, rounded shaped human. Like the boys would always pick on me for being fat and stuff. And, you know, I can't specifically tell you the situations that happened because it was like really a while ago. But again, I was born in 2002, and in 2010 getting made fun of because you're fat, okay, just good to go. I do not think I ever got properly told that I was like fat when I used to live in Australia, But I was very insecure of how I looked because of other girls in my class. I mean, they looked like full-on Insta models, like this, when they were 15, and I looked not like that at all. So when I told my mom that I was insecure, she told me to get the F off Instagram. And that was a really good advice, to be honest, but it did not help me. Like, I actually stopped following a lot of the girls in my year because of that. And so I had situations where I would go into Kmart to buy jeans and they would not fit on my thighs because they were so huge. I mean, like, I'm curvy in the traditional sense of the word. The difference between my waist and my thighs is 30 centimeters, or like 12 inches basically. And after the jeans would not fit, I like would cry in the change rooms. I mean, I think a lot of people can relate to that, like trying on something you think is cute and looks nice and it would not freaking fit you. And if you get a bigger size, then it's too big in the waist and it's just all around not a great experience. I struggled with depression throughout my teen years, as it often happens, and my body issues really didn't help with that. And it kind of makes you think a lot, the fact that you get bullied as a tiny human and then you carry it all the way to adulthood. And I think that anyone that wants to be bigger and live their life that way, they can, because, it's not my life. But they can't force other people to view them as gorgeous and beautiful and be attracted to them. Like, that's their reality. I mean, there are fat liberationists that tell other people to watch fat porn if they're not addicted, like attracted. Addicted is the wrong word. If they're not attracted to fat people. And I just think that's really weird. Like, I mean, if you're a tall girl, you probably want a tall man. And you can't bash these women for having standards the same way that you can't really bash men that want like a fit looking woman, not like an overweight looking woman. But I do have an issue with people who fetishize unhealthy behavior, be that being really underweight and really, really skinny, or be that being really, really obese. That is not all right, and I am 100% against all of that. I am not a doctor or a fitness professional, but I could tell you what healthy methods worked for me for losing weight. Also, go and check out Michelle McDaniel. She's really great. She's a personal trainer and she does cosplays. She makes a lot of cartoon references. She used to have a binge eating disorder, so she can like relate really well. I'll link her channel below. But the most basic ever advice I could give to people without like any hormonal or external issues is counting calories at a slight calorie deficit, emphasis on the slight. Get a food journal and document everything that you eat on a normal day, and then count the calories, reduce them by about 10 to 20% within the first couple of weeks. Get used to that, and after a while you could reduce it even more if you still eat more than you burn. Find out what you burn in a day. You can use just a really basic calculator and takes into account how much each person burns based on their height, weight, exercise level, and just getting more exercise, like walking more, doing yoga, Pilates, something really simple to start you off so you can work your way up from there is crucial, because you want to keep exercising your muscles so you don't burn away your muscles with your fat. And just a little disclaimer for the people that might get mad in the comments, I again do not support the bullying of people. It's never okay. I'm a victim of bullying myself, even though I don't like to use the word victim. But when you get obese and a concerned family member or a friend tells you that you got to an unhealthy weight and you get offended because that's not bullying or fat phobia. They are concerned for your well-being. And I can tell you, as a person that has a damaged knee, weight does a lot to your joints, and visceral fat suffocates your organs. You can love your body and still want to change how you look, get more muscle, get leaner, get fitter. That is okay. Being very skinny is not okay either. There are many instances of idols and like girls in Asia that end up fainting in broad daylight because they are malnourished. Like, their standard of beauty is really dangerous and unhealthy. So if you're one of the people that is underweight and is having, like, if you're having trouble gaining weight, please see a doctor. It's very important for a woman to have enough fat in her body so that her hormones are functioning correctly. And I actually think overall being underweight is a bit more dangerous than being overweight, because you're not getting enough nutrients, and like, you can be fat and fit, just not very healthy, but you can't really be fit and really, really skinny, because, you know, muscle has no place to go. You're just fat and bones, like, you know, the skinny fats. And with that, I will see myself out. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, but, you know, I really don't care either way. I'm doing this so I can hear myself talk. Have a good day. Bye-bye.